I was living in this place, and then there was this laundry room.
Oh yeah, that was like the new Backland room, only it was depressing and sad.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. It was depressing and sad.
I made my only solo album in that laundry room.
And and it was beautiful.
And you made like so many albums in there.
Well, I made 3 or 4 albums in there. Yeah, I started Fukachuk Egg Machine, which is what I'm doing now, still 10 years later.
It was like so hot in there because of the dryer and shit.
It was a place to, you know. Just,
oh yeah, it was our own place to like hang out and make things.
Yeah.
And I started taking the ideas from the noise stuff that I did and put it all together one night when I myself was to bed and Smoth was born. And yeah, Blaise would help me out with performances of Smoth at art galleries. And put the fear of noise into the hearts of men.
So I started making Fukachuk Egg Machine albums. It's like super real, sort of serious music, what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life kind of music.
It's like Blaise's feelings put onto like digital audio.
Yeah. The Fukachuk Egg Machine. I should discuss exactly what that is. That is me trying to tell these stories. And even though this is just some kind of world with people seemingly made up, and actions and reactions, and Jenny and Daphne and the rest of it, it's happening right now, and it's happening every day, and it's happening to me, and it's happening to you. And maybe it's the only way that a lot of this can be explained. And it's important. Like I said before, there's millions and millions of stories and things that are so important happening right now that it's a shame that it's not all getting told and recorded. And who is Jenny? And who are these people? And who is the Frogman? And most importantly of all, what is the Tree of Reason? I think the point is that's up to each person to decide, and up to each person to see for themselves what it is that I'm trying to say. Fukachuk Egg Machine itself, where it started was, I think it was 1993, when I sang the song The Tree of Reason. And that song it's been building up forever, really. And I realized that there's a way for it to all come out. That was it. That was the day. You know, sitting in that basement, playing guitar, sitting on the floor, with Terry playing drums. That was the day that it all started. The first time Fukachuk played was 5 years later. Fukachuk is a name. But between that point, I was searching for the Tree of Reason in a very real way. And maybe what happened was when Fukachuk Egg Machine decided to put words to these things that are happening. Maybe that was really the start of when the tree could be found, and the only thing you can do is read every single lyric and listen to every single song and put it together like a puzzle to find out exactly what it means to you. I don't think the tree of reason is completely obtainable, but it's not complete loss of hope, because along the way I have found out that maybe that isn't the reason behind the tree. It could be for some people, but I don't know. Things like Gilbert Town and all the rest of it, the zoo and the boots and the car at the bottom of the river. I don't know what the tree of reason is, but I think I'm starting to understand. It was a depressing time for me. I lost my laundry room, I lost everything.
It was dark times.
Dark times, and that, you know. So yeah, then I moved over to my mom's pad and making more fukachuk egg machine albums. I think Paul and Scott at this point were doing Humanity on Fire, and
they were doing some other things that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, me and Terry had no part of that.
No.
Evil.
We're not even going to talk about that.
Okay. The Cumicus was cool. They made the Cumicus.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And Meathook Madness. I don't know. Were you even part of that? Well, you've got bitter feelings towards that.
Well, me and Paul made the whole thing up. And, like, we started filming scenes for it, and then, like, I don't know what happened. Like, you guys went off and made, like, a whole different, like, version. I don't know. I didn't know.
It's a cool movie. Susie started joining in with the fun back then.
That was like one of the first movies where you actually made the soundtrack.
Yeah. Paul and Scott did a lot of that. First movie I actually made a soundtrack for was... we used Die Speen for the soundtrack of The Zipper Within and The Shirtless Hill. We were making all these weird little short movies at this point. You know, like the end of Die Speen and the start of Fukachuk Egg Machine. We were making all these weird short movies.
Yeah, that's when you lived in Bankview.
It was crazy.
Like Shirtless Hill and stuff.
Uh-oh. I was doing Fukachuk Egg Machine in my basement, or my mother's basement house. I was making some pretty amazing albums, I must say.
Amazing.
Around 1999, I met Elaine Boyling, and she changed my life forever.
I first met Blaise when I got Hotmail for the first time, and there was this thing called Girl Zone for a teenage girl, and Blaise was there, and I think I wrote to him because he liked The Cure, and it didn't take long before he said, "Have you heard of this band, Fukachuk Egg Machine? They're brilliant, you'll love them, you should listen to them." And ended up giving me a bunch of CDs, and I think he had stuff on mp3.com. And then a while after that, he sent me some music and asked if I would do spoken word on top of it. And that's how Fukachuk Pandora Machine started. And then we made an album.
And she makes lots of music on her own. We've made music together. She helps out with things that the films we make. She's one of the mightiest members of SC that I've ever come across.
I remember kind of obsessively listening to a tape of the Fukachuk Pandora Machine music, and 3 MP3s from mp3.com, which was Dark City and Nitro. And all this time Blaise was someone who was telling me that he'd been running around all night with his friends making films or dressing up as a giant mutant frog and to protect the cardboard city, and all this stuff that made a lot more sense than the people around me.
Like, I was playing Fukachuk Egg Machine live every once in a while, but it was just me, right? So what had to happen was, like, I didn't think I was interesting enough to watch, just to play my music. So I was making these films to go along with it that I would have projected while I was playing the music. And they were pretty cool. Like, the first one's The Box, and then there's like The Pet, Room Number 4, all these different Fukachuk movies. Sort of, they go along with the albums and the ideas behind the albums. The things that make up the whole universe of Kolodychuk, Egg Machine, Jenny and the trees and the lizards and the 3 sticks and all that sort of stuff. I think then Paul left town in about 2001.
Is that how long he's been gone?
Yeah, he's been gone. So we've been without Paul for a long time.
Jeez.
The problem is Paul's not around, and without Paul, nothing gets done because he had the car. I remember poor Paul, man. Always driving us around, but half the time he was like the instigator himself, so it was okay. And me and Blaise would get really hyper, and sometimes Blaise would attack his car, and I don't know why. Remember that time you kicked his handle off? You're just waiting for him to come, you're like, come on, you're kicking the shit out of his car, and the handle broke off. You're like, oh, sorry.